Hello, dear comrades. The start of 2020 saw the emergence of the COVID-19 epidemic, which has now become a worldwide pandemic. As of March 17th, COVID-19 has spread to 152 countries and territories, with 173,344 cases recorded. Unfortunately, 7,019 people have died of the disease. In Malaysia, the number of cases has surpassed 1,000 and deaths have been recorded. The whole country has entered the late containment phase. We have become the most severely affected country in Southeast Asia. The Prime Minister had earlier announced a restricted movement order that will be enforced until March 31st. COVID-19 has produced deep impact. Not only has it disrupted economies of countries worldwide, it has upturned various industries and fields and even our personal lives. I heard that many members are distressed and deeply troubled by this situation. Some have even wavered in their faith. What can we do in this situation? How do we confront this? I would like to study a few points with all of you. First of all, we must practice good personal hygiene. This includes diligently washing our hands with soap, gargling our mouths, and wearing masks if necessary. These are fundamental and important prevention methods. But many people are not practicing them. On this, Sensei reminds us. Sensei said, such precautions as gargling, washing one's hands and wearing masks may seem like normal and trivial methods of prevention. But it's just those little things that are important. It's a mistake to minimize or overlook them. I hope all of us will practice all these fundamental steps. Other than fundamental preventive steps, we must also have discipline. Take good care of ourselves, have a balanced diet, and get sufficient sleep and exercise so that we can boost our immune system. Secondly, other than taking care of ourselves, we must also take care of others and exercise social responsibility. For example, if we have a cold or are coughing, we must wear a mask and rest at home. Avoid going to places with many people or engaged in social activities so that we don't infect other people. If we have been to countries seriously affected by COVID-19, we must quarantine ourselves upon returning. On this, Sensei gave this guidance. Sensei said, we cannot adopt the attitude of, since I'm not ill, everything's okay. We should instead have the attitude to not let anyone become infected and be firmly determined to curb the disease's spread. Nichiren Daishonin's Buddhism is the Buddhism of happiness for oneself and others. Not only must we be happy and well ourselves, we must also ensure the happiness of others. Thirdly, as COVID-19 is a highly infectious disease, we must increase our vigilance and crisis awareness, exercising caution in all aspects. Sensei says that we must have the powerful determination to not let even one person fall ill or become a victim. Fourthly, we must understand thoroughly the setbacks and adverse effects some of our members are experiencing. We must take the sufferings of our members as our own. However, I ask that we do not become discouraged and hopeless, thereby retreating in our faith. When confronting obstacles, we must become stronger and wage a struggle against difficulties and devilish functions. First of all, we must realize that the Daishonin's Buddhism is a Buddhism of revitalization, meaning it can revitalize and rejuvenate. As long as we faithfully uphold it, we will never become deadlocked. You will never come to a dead end. In fact, you will overcome all difficulties and be revitalized. Such is the wondrous power of Nichiren Daishonin's Buddhism. The COVID-19 pandemic we see today is similar to an epidemic that Nichiren Daishonin had witnessed during his time over 700 years ago. Many people died and corpses piled high as mountains. At that time, not only was there an epidemic, there were also earthquake and famine, causing great suffering to the people. Nichiren Daishonin's heart was in great pain at witnessing this tragedy. He pondered deeply. How can I save ordinary people who are unhappy and suffering? How can I banish their fears and bring stability to society and the country? Later, he wrote on establishing the correct teaching for the peace of the land, in which he elucidated the fundamental solution to these problems. That is to establish the correct teaching in the lives of each person. As long as people embrace the correct teaching, our thoughts will not be confused, and our actions and behavior will not become disordered. Our lives will then enter the correct path. This will not only banish the sufferings, but will also establish a peaceful and happy world. In the Gosho, the Daishonin speaks of changing poison into medicine. He also stated, though calamities may come, they can be changed into good fortune. This means that a crisis can become an opportunity, and unhappiness can transform into happiness. Nichiren Buddhism is likened to the Buddhism of the sun. The darker the times and society become, the more brilliant will the Daishonin's Buddhism shine, bringing light, courage, and hope to all. When the sun rises, all darkness will be dispelled. We must establish the Buddhism of the sun within our lives and let its light illuminate our lives. In the Gosho, the Daishonin teaches that winter always turns to spring. Although we may experience the winter of suffering, that winter will pass, and spring will definitely arrive. Winter always turns to spring is a defining characteristic of Nichiren Buddhism. Over these years, these words have enabled numerous comrades in faith shackled by deep suffering to overcome their problems and be revitalized. It is the same for you. What matters is that we strengthen our faith and cultivate an indomitable spirit, striving until the very end. We need to receive continuous training in faith. Let us cultivate indestructible faith from this great difficulty that we are experiencing, opening up our lives and establishing the life state of Buddhahood. At this time, when Kosen-Rufu activities have been suspended, we must not allow our faith to slacken. If anything, we must gain victory through chanting abundant Daimoku. Great mentor Ikeda Sensei, who is already 92, wrote the following in an article published in the Seikyo Shinbun on March 11. I am also chanting Nam-myoho Renge-kyo wholeheartedly with a fervent prayer for the quickest possible end to this threat and a return to normality and safety. As Sensei's disciples, we must never ever slacken and strive alongside our mentor to tide over this difficult period. Finally, I would like to stress that this pandemic is not something that can be overcome by any one individual, organization, or country. This disease has spread all over the world and has become the common enemy that humanity and the entire world faces. It is as if this pandemic is sending all of us an important message. That is, in confronting diseases, all of us are responsible. Individuals, families, businesses, societies, governments, and countries have to work together. The global community must unite and work as one. We must not only use our common strength and find solutions to transform this crisis into opportunity, we must also open up a new age of shared coexistence and prosperity for humanity and the whole world. I wish that all of you enjoy security, good health, and victory. Thank you very much.